Good morning, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, where the whips are real and the plans are kind of fake. Today is Saturday, September the 2nd, 2023, and this is Flosstube number 50. 50. I've done 50 of these things. Can you believe it? If you are new to my channel, I would like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch. I do all different types of projects, big, small, full coverage, not full coverage, lots of them. If you're returning to my channel, I would like to welcome you back. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and commenting and all the things, all the things. Okay, I have a lot to show you today. I worked on like 17 projects. I had a really hard time with decision paralysis because I picked too many projects out of my basket, but I still worked on 17 of them. So here's my board. Get it without the light reflecting. Look at all the goals done. I got 7 more goals done. If you've never watched my channel before, if this is your first time, I write down, I pick projects to work on out of my basket, and then I write them on my board. Project in black, the stitches I need to complete my goal that I had set at the end of the whip parade last year. I set a goal for all of my projects to try to complete them, and how many stitches I have left to complete the goal if I know the stitch count for it. If I worked on it, I write the stitches in red, and if the goal is completed, I write done in green. I got 7 of them done. Look at that! As you can see, where is it? Gloria Bottom, nothing. I did not work on that one. Nope. For anyone who has not seen that one, Gloria Bottom has been done for like, the cross stitching has been done since 2017. All I have to do is finish the back stitching, and I keep putting it off. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started because I have a lot to show you. So let me get through my whips real quick. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this little kit from Dimensions. It's called Believe, and it's really small. It's going to end up being like 5x7, I think, 7x5, whatever they say. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm just using whatever came in the kit with the fabric and the floss. I think it's like a 14 count beige natural Aida, 14 count natural Aida. And my goal this year is to finish it. I did 600 stitches on it, and that's where I'm at. So technically, all of the little blocks have been started. There's a start on all the blocks, and this was the last thread. I was done for the night, so I just left the thread hanging because it's a kit and I didn't want to run out of the color. But that's where I'm at with it so far. So I had said before, like these beigeish stitches right here, they're supposed to be half crosses, and I made them full crosses by accident. And I was realizing when I was working on this that the beige crosses over here are also supposed to be half cross. So what I'm gonna do next time I pull this out is keep working on it, but I'm going to save this beige border and finish this block like kind of last once I know I have all of the other floss. And I might go ahead and leave these as full crosses throughout this whole block because there's like green stitching like on the back. I stitched over it. This right here is just that right there. There's no threads over it, so I may pull that out and turn it into half crosses. And nobody will know the difference. It just depends on how much floss I have left for that color. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that one. Like I said, I did 600 stitches on it. And I did do a little bit of the, like, the blocks are like outlined with the dark brown or whatever. And I did do a little, you can't really see it on camera, but I did do a little bit of it like right through here. Kind of came down, so. Anywho. So there's that one. Back in the basket it goes. That goes there. Next up, I'm just like pulling these projects out of the pile. So some of them, it's gonna be a mix of what's not done and what is done. Oh, next up, I need my tablet. Hang on one second. Next up is sampler 124. This is from, I said it wrong last time, 2x2 stitch art. And I don't really know the name of it. They may have changed the name of it, but when I bought it and went to go like print it out, it was called sampler 124. So that's what I'm calling it. And yeah, there we go. It's easier to show it like this. No, it's not. There we go. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And it's technically a monochrome piece, but I'm changing it up. So like the outlines of the blocks, I'm using $37.99. And then what I did was, because I put it into Pattern Keeper, I put 20 stitch wide diagonals. And I picked 3 colors, a pink, a blue, and a purple. I did, for the blue, I did $37.50. For the purple, I did $38.35. And for the pink, I did $38.05. I'll try to remember to put that in the description box down below if you like this idea and you want to steal it, because I'm okay with that. Anything you ever see on my channel that you're like, wow, that was a great idea, Jen. If you want to do it, I don't care. That's fine. You can do that. You don't have to ask me permission, because I got the idea from someone else. Like, I'm not original. I am not original at all. So I'm trying to get it so you can see everything I worked on. So my goal was to get this to 10%. And I needed about, like, just over, where is it? I needed just over 600 stitches to do it. And I did 610 stitches, and I am now at 10%. So the 3 colors, if you have not seen this before, I did 20 stitch wide diagonals, and the first diagonal, I'm doing this on I think this is like a 16 or 18 count white opalescent Aida, and I'm using 2 strands of floss. So the diagonal number 1 I did with 2 strands of pink. Diagonal 2, I did 1 strand of pink and 1 strand of purple. Diagonal 3, I did 2 strands of purple. Diagonal 4, I did 1 strand of purple, 1 strand of blue. Diagonal 5, that's this right here. Diagonal 5, I did 2 strands of blue. Diagonal 6, I did 1 strand of blue, 1 strand of pink. And diagonal 7, I did 2 strands of pink. And then I'm just basically going to repeat this all the way across the pattern. But I did 610 stitches, kind of extended it out over here too. And like I said, the outline of the blocks themselves are in $37.99. And I'm really liking how it's turning out. It kind of looks like a variegated floss without actually being variegated. I'm just using DMC. So this is a total of 3,910 stitches out of 39,038, and I am at 10.02%. So there's that. That goal is done. This is going away until next year. But I am going to bring it to, I'm going on a retreat in November. I'm going to Stitching in the Springs in Ohio. Get to meet Alara. Get to meet Suki, get to meet a lot of people that are going. I'm excited. Alara's gonna pick me up from the airport. I just watched her new video last night. I told her, I said, you should have called this the Alara Show with your co-host Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. She kept talking about me. I felt so special. Anyway, yeah, she's gonna pick me up from the airport and take me to my hotel room. My friend Jennifer is also going to be going, and she got a hotel room in the same, I'm staying in a separate hotel, and because the one that the retreat is at was all booked up, so I'm staying in a hotel that's maybe like, I don't know, 10 miles away. It's not that far. And she got a hotel room in the same hotel so we can carpool, so I don't even have to worry about renting a car. So I'm super excited about that. So anyway, I'm going to bring that with me so I can show people what it looks like in person. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is from Stitching Jules Design. She has an Etsy shop and a website, and I was watching, and a YouTube, and I was just watching one of her videos last night, and she said that she sells shirts now. So I'm probably going to go check that out on her website. I don't think they're on her Etsy shop. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is Gothic House. Like I said, this is from Stitching Jules Design. This is another monochrome piece, and I am doing this in all black. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I love it. My goal for this one is to get this one also to 10%. I did not meet this goal. I needed about a little over 1,000 stitches to get that done. I only did 400 on it. I'm doing this on I think this is a 28 or 25, I think it's 28 count Vintage Stormy Night from Zweigart. And this is where I'm at with it so far. So I did 400 stitches, and I kind of was like going mainly up here was my starting point. So I got a lot of that filled in. And let me see. The size of this project is 330 by 330. And I did, like I said, I did 400 stitches on it. I now have 2,250 stitches completed out of 28,708, and I am at 7.84%. So when I pull this again, I need about 600-ish stitches to finish this off. So I think that the next time I pull this out, I can get this goal done. All right, next is one of my year-long goals. So I have 7 projects. Yeah, 7 projects that I set really high goals on at the beginning of during my whip parade, like really high, like, you know, 30,000 stitches on this, 18,000 stitches on this, blah, 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 blah. So I keep them out. I don't pick them out of my basket. I keep them out to give me the option of working on them. And I'm really far behind on a couple of them. So we're going to change it up this video with how many I pull out and all that. Anyway, this is one of my year-long ones. And this is from a Design Works kit called Coffee Break. Wow. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I've seen a few people stitch this up, and it turned out really nice, so I'm excited, and I really like it a lot. My goal for this was to do 18,000 stitches on it for the year. The last time you saw this, I needed 14,200 stitches to complete the goal. I have done a total, since the last time we saw it, of 1,200. I'm just using whatever came in the kit. 14 count white Aida. And when I work on this, I'm working it block by block. So when I pick a block, I am completing it in its entirety, like all the back stitching and everything. So this one was already done. I finished off this cappuccino block right here, and then I moved down to the frappe, this one here. So I have 2 blocks completely done, and I moved down to this one here. It looks really neato. I like it a lot. I mainly moved down to this one here because of the way that for my games, the way I had taken my picture. Like one of my starting photos, I had space down here, so I didn't have to do multiple photos showing that I moved around. That's kind of why I moved down to that one. Anyway, so I need another 13,000 stitches to complete that goal, and then that goal will be done. Okay. Next up is another small dimensions kit, and this one is called Christmas Penguin, and this one is going to be 7 by 5 inches as well. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. The only thing I'm going to change on this is the fact that there's like little French knots for snowflakes scattered all across here, and I'm not about that life. Like, I'm fine with French knots. I don't want to be doing a French knot like every 6 stitches and trying to, no, we're not doing all that. So I'm leaving the French knots off. It is not snowing where my little penguin lives. Actively snowing. He's just running on a snowbank, delivering mail. So my goal for this piece is to finish it, and I did 700 more stitches on it. It's technically more than 700 because the snow at the bottom are half crosses, and to count it for my games, there's like a shadow. I feel like my light is starting to like slowly sink, maybe. Anyway, the snow down here are half crosses, and in order for them to count for my games I play on Facebook, you have to do 2 half crosses to count for 1 stitch. So it's technically more than 700 stitches, but I'm not doing all that. And same with the back stitching. So I have almost all of the cross stitches done for his little scarf that's going to say Merry Christmas. And I went ahead and started the back stitching on the bottom part of it here. And I filled in a lot of the snow right here, and I started coming out over this way. Oh, okay. I started coming out over this way with the snow as well. And then I started in on the little letter he's carrying also. So yeah, there's that. Back in the basket it goes, because I want to finish this one this year. There it is. My fancy bag. My fancy designer bag. Okay, next up is a really old project I have. It is called Cuddly Bear Quilt. This is one of those old baby blankets from Sunset. I bought this back in like 1846. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And my goal for this was to do 500 stitches, and I said I was gonna work on the bear, and I opted not to. I just moved to a different location. Oh, I feel like I have to sneeze. Okay, I think I might be okay. All right. I need to change bags for this. I have it in a gallon Ziploc bag, and it's like kind of hard to put in there. Anyway, I got the 500 stitches done, but I moved down to, of course, the corner that's completely folded up. Completely folded up. Oh my God, where is it? Here it is. So I moved the bottom right corner is where I worked. So this is where I work. This is, hang on. So that's the whole blanket. So I have a decent portion of it done, I guess. And this is where I worked. So I got 500 more stitches done on it. I did make a little bit of a boo-boo when I started working on this because I'm so used to doing 2 threads when I'm stitching. I didn't even think about it, and you're supposed to do it in 3. So this part right here and a little bit of this is 2 strands, not 3 strands. And I think I realized my error when, I don't know when, but when I was looking at it, it's like you can't really tell the difference. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna pick it all out. But I completely did this cloud over here, and the moon and these two stars, and I started working on this border here. Oh, and this star over here. So it's a mix of cross stitches, back stitch for this star here, and then this right here is a stem stitch. Felt super fancy doing a stem stitch. Stem stitch. And the only reason I even realized it was a stem stitch was because I was looking at this cloud up here, which I did 150 years ago. And I was like, that doesn't look like a regular badge. So I started like using my needle to move the thread around to see what I did. And then I looked at the directions on the directions. And I was like, oh, that's supposed to be a stem stitch. Okay, that's why it looks like that. Okay. So that goal is done. That will go away until next year. The ice machine is going crazy over there. I just heard it drop ice. So if you hear like a knocking sound, I don't know if you're going to or not, but if you hear a knocking sound, it's my ice machine. It sounds like someone's knocking at the door. It freaked me out when I first moved into this place 5 years ago. I'm like, who's at the door? No, it was my freezer. Okay. That was my neighbor. That there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is Trucks and Goldens, and this is a snippet from a larger piece. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Greg Giordano, and it is 175 by 175, and it has 88 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. My friend Carrie actually completed this like last year, I think, and it looks so cute. This is what it will look like when it's done. Like the mock-ups for Cross Stitch Studio are like awesome. Their charting is great. And I used this for my parking tutorial that I did like this year, last year. Yeah, last year I did a parking tutorial, and it's really good. If I do say so myself. I did an excellent parking tutorial. I will link that down below in case anybody is interested in parking and you have not seen it yet, because it was last year, so it's kind of hard to find. So I will link that in the description box down below, and this is the pattern that I used for it. And of course, what did I do? I used it for a parking tutorial, and am I parking anymore? Nope. I worked in all my park threads, and I just started going for it. This is the puppy dog on the left. This is the start of his head right here. And what was I doing? How was I even working this? I don't even know. But anyway, I worked in all my parked threads, and then I think I just started picking threads to work on and worked it until the thread was complete. But my goal for this is to another 10%. Get this one to 10% as well. In order to get that goal, I needed about 1,926 stitches, and I did 700. I'm doing this on a 14 count ivory Aida because it fit, and I needed fabric that was big enough that the camera could see it, because I literally started this piece to do the tutorial. I wanted something small, so like a smaller piece, so that I could do it on a larger count of fabric, so it would be easier for you to see. So where am I at with this? I have done a total of 1,837 stitches out of 30,625. I am at exactly 6%. So not gonna lie, I was trying to keep up with the parking on this because this is not gridded fabric, as you can see. And so, yes, I am a little nervous that I'm going to miscount. But I kind of fall in and out of love with parking. Like, I love the parking, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I just want to like take this thread and go. So I am in my, I don't want to park phase right now. I do that. I will take a piece and I start working in all my park threads because I don't want to park anymore. And then I'm like, let me go back to parking, and then I'll start doing parking again. So I feel like the next time I pull this out, I may, because I have this on Pattern Keeper, and you have the option. I've done this with some smaller pieces and it's kind of fun, but you have the option. Let me turn it this way so you can see it a little bit easier. You have the option up here on Pattern Keeper of sorting it by, of sorting it by color, right? Like in order from lowest to highest. And then you also have the option of sorting it by how many stitches are left in it. So for 38.56, there's only 10 stitches left, right? And then you can reverse that order so that the highest stitch count goes up at the very top, right there. So what I was kind of thinking about doing next time I pull this out is doing what I've done with some smaller projects, where I take the highest count, right, 834, and there's 2,373 stitches, and I will work on that color until it drops down below the 833, which is 2,065. And then once I finish that thread, then I will go to color 833 and work that until it drops down, and just keep doing that. I might do that next time I pull it out, because like I said, I've done that with a couple of smaller pieces from Stitcherovia that I have on there, and it's a lot of fun. It kind of keeps me, oh, a needle. It kind of keeps me engaged in the project instead of just working on the same thing over and over. Okay, next up is a goal that I have finished, and this is from Lila's Studio. Lila, I say Lila. This is Halloween Quaker, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I love this piece. I have the Christmas Quaker, the Holiday Quaker, I think it's called, that I'm going to start next year. And she has a spring and a summer too. I don't have those. I don't know if I'm going to get them. I might. I'm not sure. But this is Halloween Quaker. My goal for this was to do 1,000 stitches on it total, and to complete the goal, when I pulled it out, I needed another 500, and I did that. I'm doing this on a 32 count Vintage Stormy Night from Zweigart, 2/2. And for the most part, I have the specialty floss. It calls for some, what is this? It calls for some Classic Colorworks, and I have most of it. I don't have all of it. Like, I'm not doing, I think Bamboo is like kind of the white color, and I don't have that because I'm not fancy enough to do fancy white and fancy black. So I'm doing, she has, if you start this and you don't want to use the fancy floss, if you go to her website, lilastudio.net, if you go to her website, she has a Classic Color work. She has a conversion to DMC, so some of the colors would be blends of DMC to kind of mimic the variegation of some of these flosses. But I have most of them, and I think I might try to go ahead and get the rest of them. Not the Bamboo, but what is it? The red Lobster Claw, and maybe the Blackbird. I think I don't have Blackbird, but I also need to get another, I think I need another skein of the Smoke. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sitting here going on and on about the stupid floss. Let me show you the actual project, right? So I needed 500 stitches to complete the goal, and I did that. And just a reminder with some of these printed, this is a printed fabric. So it is plain on one side and printed on the other. Vintage Stormy Night and Vintage Country Mocha are both like that. So if you ever get these fabrics, just keep that in mind when you, I feel like I have a hair on my arm and it's bugging me. There it is. Bye-bye. Just keep that in mind when you if you get these fabrics, make sure you start the project on the correct side of the fabric. Because if you wanted the plain side, then why wouldn't you just get plain fabric, right? So anyway, I did 500 stitches on this. So the 500, let me see, let me think of what I did. I believe I completed this right here, the broom, finished off the broom. I think this was already done. So I came over here and I did this little motif here, and I started this motif right here. And I was super proud of myself because I did this entire outside border of the motif and it matched when I got to the other end. It matched up. I was like, heck yeah. So that's where I'm at with that so far. And I'm really digging it. I like it a lot. I still have to do the eyeballs on the bats for the bats to be done. But that is a future gen thing because this goal is done. So it's going bye-bye until next year. All right. Yeah, okay. I was like, did I throw that in the right spot? Yes, I did. Okay. Next up is another piece from Stitching Jewels Design. I think I pulled 3 projects, all 3. I have 3 of her I have 4 of her projects started. I have more to start next year, but I have 4 of her projects, her designs started, and I pulled 3 of them on my last video. And I worked on all 3. So this next one is called James Dean. And this is 170 by 240. It is another monochrome piece. I got this one from her. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. He is an American actor from like the 1950s who was killed in his 20s in a car accident. He was very popular at the time of his death. Everybody was heartbroken. Well, I don't know. I wasn't alive. I'm not that old. But, anyway, I think it was the 1950s when he died. Anyway, I got the pattern from her. Back in the day, she said she had made an offer to any Flosstuber that had under 1,000 subscribers to message her, and she would gift us a pattern. And the idea was to finish it in a few months, like 3 months. And I have not done that, but I feel like I made up for it because I keep talking about her, and I have made lots of purchases and have gotten other people hooked on her stuff. So I feel like that made up for it. But anyway, I told her to just tell me what she wanted me to work on. And so she picked James Dean for me. I'm doing this on 18 count fabric from Zweigart in the color, I think the color is Hazelwood. I really should write this down. I think it's Hazelwood. I'm not sure. Anyway, my goal is to finish it this year. And I needed I need 9,662 stitches since the last time you saw it. I've done 600, so I now need 9,062 stitches to complete this goal. So this is where I'm at with it so far. So I came down here and I was working on this eye over here, and I kind of came out. So this is the edge of his head. And I worked a little bit down by his nose under this side, came over here and did his ear. And I started kind of coming up here to get some of this hair done as well. But that's where I'm at with it so far. Looks really good. Look at his eyeball. I'm watching you. I'm digging it. So, yeah, that's, it's not that close to the top. It's all right. It'll fit. I think I was supposed to originally start it this way. I can't remember. I feel like I started it the other way, but it's a perfect square pattern, so I don't think it really would have mattered. I think, isn't that what I said? It's like 175 by 175 or something. Anyway, so I did 600 stitches, and I am at 3,892 stitches done out of 12,954, and I am at 30.04%. So as you can see, it's not, you know, there's not a lot of stitches done to do to complete it. It's not a lot of stitching to get it done. It's only 12,000 stitches. That's not bad at all. If I worked on that by itself, I need 9,000. I could easily get that done this month. If that was the only thing I worked on, I could probably get it done in a few weeks, but I'm not about that life. I need options. Oh man, it's like, it's kind of sucks because it's like, well, I know if I just worked on this, I could get it done in like, 2 weeks, but I don't like doing that. I like having the options. Like when I work on something for more than 2 days, I'm like, my eye starts to twitch and I'm like, I need to move on to something else. So the next thing I'm going to show you is from Stitchrovia, and this was a trio of patterns. This one is done. The last time I pulled this, or the one I pulled for this, the project I pulled was Hope right here. This one I have started, but my goal for Hope is to get it completed this year. And I don't know how many stitches it is. If I had, I don't remember if she did this in a black and white version too. I just printed the color copy of it. If I really searched, I could probably find the black and white copy and put it in Pattern Keeper, but it's whatever. Whatever. Anyway, my goal is to finish it this year. It's not done yet. I did 600 stitches on it. This is a smaller piece. It's only 77 by 77. And that's where I'm at so far. I did all this right here, and I started working my way up. So this is the outline of the P right there. I'm doing this on a 28 count white Monaco 2/2. And oh, I filled in, I think, this leaf right here. So all that right there is done, and this is done. It looks like it's a lot of stitching, but at the same time, it's really easy because of the way the colors are. It's a lot easier than Joy, I'll tell you that. The fireworks one, it's like, that one's like Confetti Central, but Hope is a little bit easier to work on. So anyway, I did 600 stitches on that. I'd say I'm probably about a third of the way done, 2/5 of the way done. I don't know. Not quite half. Okay. Next up, I am going to show you a piece from Pain Free Crafts. And this is called Snowy Delight. Let me find it. I wish that there was a way on Pattern Keeper that you could sort your projects alphabetically. That's what I would love, because it would make it so much easier to find. All right, Pain Free Crafts, Snowy Delight by Kaplan Door. This is 420 by 358. I don't know how many colors it is. It doesn't say it on the cover photo, and I'm not scrolling through everything to find it. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And my goal for this is to complete page 1, which is up in the upper left-hand corner, that part up there, right? And it's not done. I did do 1,000 stitches on it. I'm doing this on a 28 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. Maybe I'm doing 32. I don't know. And that's where I'm at with it so far. I did 1,000 stitches on it. And it's starting to look more like a Christmas tree. So I'm happy about that. Like last time you saw this, it looked really weird because you couldn't really tell what it was. I am at 2,900 stitches completed out of 1,000, or not 1,000, 150,360. I'm at 1.93%, and she does her page lines like on the grid line. So to complete the page, I needed 3,500 stitches, but as you can see, I have a few scattered out this way because I was finishing off the thread, or not really finishing off the thread, but it was like those were the only stitches of that color that were like right there. So I went ahead and did them. So I didn't have like ninja stitches when I moved on to the other ones. But I'm estimating I need probably about 500, 600 more stitches to get this done. 600, I think I need 3,500, and I'm at 2,900 right now. So I need I'd say maybe about between 600, 650 stitches to complete this page. And that'll be done. All right. Next up, this one is from Cross Stitch Studio, and this one is called Mr. Cardinal. I really like this piece a lot. Can't find it. Hang on. My goal for this was to get this to 2%. Here it is. Was to get it to 2%. It's 190 by 317. It has 87 colors. Artwork is by Dempsey Essick. And like I said, it's from the Cross Stitch Studio. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. Absolutely love it. I love that bird so much. And I needed 400 stitches to get to 2%. And I did that. I'm doing this on a 32 count, easy count Lugano, 1/1 full cross. And here we are. So I have, hang on. Let me move a couple things. Okay. I have 1,205 stitches completed out of 60,230. And I am at exactly 2%. So there's that. That goal is done. There we go. Going away till next year. All right, next. This one is from the Haunted Library SAL from Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I'm late to the party. This was released last year. And my goal for this, hang on, need to pull out 3 things. There we go. Okay. My goal for this, well, let me show you what it's going to look like. When I pulled this out, I'm like, I was showing the cover page for chapter 9. And I was like, I feel like there's something missing. And everyone started commenting, yes, there's actually 10 chapters. I had all 10 chapters. I just had them mixed up. I had this between chapters 6 and 7 for some reason. It's a crappy printout. Maybe that's why I was showing chapter 9 instead, because it was a better printout. But this is the whole piece right here. So this was released in parts. And so the first part that was released was the frame, the bookcase. And my goal for this is to get the prologue, or chapter 1. Wait, no, prologue. My goal for this is to get the prologue done. And I had like this part done right here. So my goal is to get the prologue done. I have no idea how many stitches that's going to be. I'm doing this on a 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I did, how many stitches did I do? I worked on this last night, actually. So I think I did like 600. Where is it? Yeah, 600. I couldn't find it on my board. All right. So this is where I'm at with it. So I had all that done already, and I had come down here and I had part of this done. So I kept on over on this side. So I completed the little skull. I love these little banister caps, the little skulls. And I started working on the stairs going back up this way. So that's where I'm at on that. There's the space right here. There's going to be a piece that goes there in the future. Just like right here. There's going to be a man right there. So I did 600 more stitches on that. And I'm really digging it a lot. All right. Get all this. I went super old school and I printed all the patterns. So I got like this novel over here. And yes, I could probably just pull out all the chapters, but that's how my crap got all mixed up to begin with. So like, and just keep the chapter I'm working on, but it's whatever. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you is from Cunning Cross Stitch. This is the Harry Potter stitch along that he released a few years ago. And I am sorry to say it is no longer available. He took it down. Today's the 2nd. He took it down 2 days ago because he released his new Stitch Your Own Adventure. And this one is themed Lord of the Rings. So I will go ahead and link his Facebook page down below if you are interested in doing a Stitch Your Own Adventure. It's a lot of fun. Every pattern is going to be unique. Like all the projects are going to be unique. He said that he did the math. I don't know how he did this, but he did the math and there's over 300,000 just going off of what he did. This is not because some people, like with the Harry Potter SAL, they added in elements of their own. Just with the stuff that he designed for this Lord of the Rings piece, there's over 300,000 different ways to do this pattern. So there's, yeah. So anyway, if you like, I'm not even a big fan of Lord of the Rings, and I'm still going to do it next year though. But he just released the outline, kind of like how the Harry Potter has this right here. So this is the outline of the Harry Potter thing. So he released the outline for the Lord of the Rings piece yesterday. And yeah, I'm really digging it. So I'm probably going to go ahead and do it next year. So yeah, if you like Lord of the Rings and you like those Choose Your Own Adventure books from back in the 80s, this is definitely a project for you. So I will link his Facebook page down below. But this is the Harry Potter version of the Stitch Along, or Stitch Your Own Adventure. And that's what basically the frame is going to look like. There are a couple things I'm going to change about mine whenever I get to them. But I'm doing this 3 times. I'm doing one for myself, and then I'm doing one for each of my kids. So the one I pulled was for my older son. The one I pulled was for Peyton. And my goal for his was to do the borders of parchment 1 and parchment, parchment 1 and parchment 5. And when I pulled them all out, because I don't really have them labeled, I picked different, one was a common theme among mine, his, and his brother's. And then I picked a different second parchment to complete. So and I had to mark what one was what because I was not guessing correctly. But apparently for his, I already had parchment 5 completed. And so I just needed to finish parchment 1. I don't have it quite done yet. I'm just doing this on a 14 or 16 count Aida. Oh my God. Hang on. Just a roll I picked up at the craft store. There we go. So parchment 5 is already done. And parchment 1, of course, was started because that's the one that's kind of in the center. So I just kind of counted out from the middle to start parchment 1. So all I have left This was already done. I started here and I started working my way over and then up. And all I have left, I think maybe about 500 or 600 more stitches to finish bringing this up this way. And then this one will be done. I did a total of 500 on it, and I think when I was looking at the pattern, I think I only need about 500 or 600 more stitches. I was kind of looking at how many boxes it went up, and I was kind of estimating. So yeah. Okay. I have not checked because I think my computer's dead, but there have been some people on his Facebook page that were freaking out because they thought that they had the stuff downloaded and it's not working for them anymore. And I have not looked to see if mine is like that or not, but it's okay. I'll figure it out because I have the stories. Like, I've opened all of them up. It should work. It should work. I don't know why it wouldn't, but anyway. The next thing I'm going to show you is from Cooler Design Studio. And this is Winter Sampler from Sandy Orton. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I have all 4 seasons started, and I love them to death. So I'm doing this on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco 2/2. And my goal for this was, I think, was to do 1,000 stitches on it. I needed 400 more stitches to complete the goal. And I got that done. So this piece, I am doing the back stitching as I go when I can. So I did the 400 focus mainly like down here, getting some of this stuff done. But as you can see, I have the mice. The only thing that's not completed on the mice is the back stitching of their tails, like the very ends of their tails, because I wanted to like use this, like I could do this one, but this one I still need to finish the cross stitching right here, and I think a couple things over here to be able to get the rest of the tail. So I'm just waiting until I do that before I back stitch their tails. But then once I do that, basically from here up, the back stitching is done. So yeah, I'm trying to do the back stitching as I go. So because I don't want to, I hate back stitching dimensions kits, and I don't want to run into that problem with these pieces because I really like them. I don't want to be like, oh my God, I don't want to back stitch. So I'm doing it as I go. That way, once I get to the very end, it's going to be done. I don't have to do anything else. So yeah, I needed 400 stitches on that to complete the goal, and I did. So that's done. Okay, next up is from Stitching Jules Design. And this one is Library. And this piece is, how big is it? This piece is 470 by 250. It's another monochrome. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Isn't that cool? I'm doing this on a 25 count light blue Ada, or not Ada, even weave. I have no idea what the color is called. It might be Summer Sky. I have no clue. My goal for this was to get it to 5%. And I needed 400 more stitches. Yeah, I needed 400 more stitches to get that goal done. And I did it. So like I said, 25 count, light blue, even weave. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. And I worked over here. This is where I worked, but I'm gonna show you the whole thing, what I've done so far. So I have done 2,300 stitches out of 46,005. I am at exactly 5%. So there's that. That piece is done. Going bye-bye till next year. Bye-bye, library. Okay. Oh, my nose itches. Hope I'm not coming down with something. My son has a cold. He has a man cold. The kids were with me. Oh yeah, so we had a hurricane. Well, let me show you my last whip and then I'll talk about that. Okay. So the last piece I'm going to show you is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is called Springtime Splendor. This is the Max Color, regular size Max Color. Artwork is by Randall Spangler. It is 450 by 758. It has 236 colors. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I really like this a lot. And my goal for this was to get it to 4%. I needed 733 stitches. I did 733 stitches and I got it to 4%. And I decided to go ahead and keep working in the castle, or in the house, not the castle. Instead of working, I had parked threads and I decided I didn't want to do that. I decided I want to work on the house. I'm doing this on a 25 count, easy count Lugana, 2/1 10th stitch. So I worked on this part right here. I got a lot of that filled in and I was working my way up. So yeah. So I have done a total of, hang on, it's hard for me to read it at a certain angle, 13,618 stitches out of 340,805. And like I said, I am at exactly 4%. So I got a lot of part threads over here I'm going to work in next year when I pull this out. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what the edge looks like. So, all right. So that's all my whips. So yeah, real quick. So Hurricane Idalia hit Florida earlier this week. As you can see, I'm okay. She stayed away from Tampa Bay. We got the outer bands. So we had a lot of wind and a lot of rain. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, but it didn't hit us directly. It hit what we call the Big Bend area. That's where the west coast of Florida kind of curves this way. It hit that area. She was I think by when she increased to a Cat 4 overnight, but then before she made landfall, she dropped down a bit to a Category 3, but it still was pretty bad up there. But we just had some flooding down here. So everybody I personally know is okay. I don't know anybody up there. I don't know how everyone is doing up there. But so I have my kids, and they went ahead as a precaution because of how hurricanes have been in this area in the past, where it makes a sudden detour and we don't necessarily get hit directly, but we get hit kind of hard to where we have to, like, because we had to, there along the river, we have a lot of rivers, and then we have the bay and the Gulf and everything. So everybody along the water was told to evacuate because they were expecting like over 10-foot storm surges. So they told everybody along the rivers and stuff to go ahead and evacuate. So they closed all the schools to be shelters. So I have my kids all day, Tuesday and Wednesday. My clinic, I work in a plastic surgeon's office in a hospital. And our clinic was closed half the day on Tuesday. We only worked until noon, and then we were closed on Wednesday. And so I was ready to kill them by the end of the day Wednesday, because they were bored because everything was closed. So they were like, you know, we were all like just sitting in the house with, oh my God, we're so bored. So they started fighting because they're boys. They're only 2 years apart. So anyway, my older one was complaining he didn't feel good. Like, he's like, oh my God, I'm coughing so hard and my throat hurts. And can you call the doctor? I was like, well, I will on Thursday when they open. If you really want to go, I'll call the doctor on Thursday. So I called. He kept saying he was coughing, and I barely heard him cough. Like, not like he was saying he was coughing. And, yeah, it's just a cold. Just a cold. Like, dude, man up. Come on. Come on. Anyway. All right, so, as you can see, I have my big board. That was all my whips that I had to show. But I have my big board here. My big trifold board. And, oh, look at all that. Got my Blue's Clues marker. And it's time to mark off some goals. A couple of you guys had suggested, like when I finish something, to do a different color or whatever. Suki has suggested marking it differently, like circling it or something like that. So I'm going to see if I can remember what I've completed. Oh, fat pants. I think what I'll do is I'll put a little like asterisk or something next to the marked off part. So let me see. Hang on. Give me just a minute because I'm just looking real quick to see if there's anything on this side that is a finish. No. So we're going to mark off my finishes real quick with a star just so we can see how many finishes I've had for the year. Fat pants was a finish. And flower gnome was a finish. It's like marked, like it's marked completely through, but I can still read through the marker. That was a UFO. I know I have at least one more finish. I just gotta find it. I think it's gonna be over here. I think it was my wolves piece. And I think that might be my, oh no, love was a finish. Let me see. And my wolves piece, the Wild Column Winter. That was a finish. So I've had 4 finishes so far this year. I think when I did my whip parade, I think I ended up with like saying I was going to do 9 finishes, which is crazy because I don't usually finish anything. But anyway, let's go ahead and mark these goals off that are done. So we are, let's see, Springtime Splendor. Of course, it's way over here where I can barely reach it. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. Springtime Splendor. Okay. Library. Winter Sampler. Mr. Cardinal. And Sampler 124. Oh, really? Way over here. Oh, okay. Halloween Quaker. Way down here. Cuddly Bear Quilt. Way up here. Why is it doing it like that? Don't do that. I really want to mark that one out. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so. Oh my God. Okay, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's mark off 7 more up here. I'm tallying them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you have any idea how hard it is to do that 5th line in the correct direction, upside down and backwards? That is true talent right there. Okay, So, oh my God. All right. So we are at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87. 87 goals done out of 139. That's 52 goals remaining. $52 goals remaining out of 139. How exciting is that? Yeah, that's not a lot. But the thing is that some of these goals have thousands and thousands of stitches still to do. Like one of my, my highest one right now, I would say is California Dreaming. To get that goal, I still need 29,000 stitches, almost 30,000 stitches to complete the goal. So yeah, I only have 52 goals left, but some of these have thousands, like tens of thousands of stitches to do to complete the goal. So it's still a toss-up as to if this is going to get done or not. Yeah. Okay. So next up, we're going to pick my projects. Now, I think what I'm going to do this time, instead of picking like project after project after project and pulling out a crap ton of them, I think I'm only going to pull out like maybe 10. Because look how empty my bin looks. I still have to add in the stuff that wasn't completed back in here, but yeah, I used to have 2 full, packed full bins. And as the goals get done, I put them in a separate location. So yeah, this bin is getting lighter and lighter. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm only going to pull out 10 so that I can potentially work on a completely different project every day that until my next video. But I really need to work on these higher count pieces, and I keep avoiding them to work on the other stuff, because when I have like all this, when I have all these choices here, I'm like, well, oh, I could get that one done, I can get that one done. So I keep working on this stuff and I'm ignoring these, and I really need to get going on some of these. So I'm only going to pick 10 projects, and then that way maybe I will be able to get my larger pieces worked on. Out of my, I have 7 year-long projects that I'm working on all throughout the year. The highest one is California Dreaming. To complete, I need to get that to 25%. And to do that, I still need 29,786 stitches. The one that has the least amount to get done is my best friend's quotes, which is 4,900. So I will go ahead and show you my year-long projects, because I'm gonna pull 10 and then I'll show you my year-long ones, because it's been a while since I pulled some of these out. Okay, got my basket. This used to be covered down here with stuff, and now it's down to a corner. I'm trying to mix this up really good, because last video I pulled out a bunch, but I'd say probably 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of what I pulled, I had pulled 2 weeks prior. Like it was the same thing over and over again. So if I pull a project that I've already shown you, I'm not going to pull it out and show it again. Like, I mean, I'm going to work on it, but I'm not going to like show you. The other ones I'm going to pull out of here or my bag and show you. Okay. First one up, Snowy Delight. So let me just at least put it in a different spot so I don't put it away by accident. Snowy Delight, that was that piece by Kaplan Door that I need to complete page 1. Next up is the Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure, but my piece. So let me show you what my starting point is. Where are my goals at? Hang on. So like I said, I'm doing the Stitch Your Own Adventure 3 times. And my goal for mine is to finish parchments 1 and 2. So that would be this parchment here and this one down here. Finish the outline of these 2 parchments. And this is my starting point. I have a long way to go. It looks like it's done, but these are only half stitches, all right here, so that I could get at least just the edge done. So yeah, I got a ways to go on mine. What I might do is go down and do parchment 2 and bang that out real quick. I don't know. But anyway, my Stitch Your Own Adventure. All right. Number 3. The third one, the Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure for my son Lachlan. Isn't that a cool name? I love his name, Lachlan. So his was to finish parchments 1 and 3, which is this one and this one over here. You know what? No. This one and this one over here. You know, nope, never mind. I had a thought and then it wasn't the right thought. So finish parchments 1 and 3. So I had picked different parchments for each of us on purpose for the sole reason of that way when I pull them out later, I'll know exactly whose is whose. His has an equally bad start. Apparently Peyton's is the one I worked on the most. That's all I did. Right there. So I need to finish his and then come down and do parchment 3. I'm almost wondering if when I was working on, oh no, Peyton's I had worked on the most. Okay, all right. I was trying to think if I had maybe mistaken, like mixed the 2 up, thinking that parchment 3 was somewhere else. But no, I have on my list that I've done 1,300, not counting what I did on Peyton's already, 1,300 stitches. So I had worked on that one the most. Okay. All right. Next up. Sweet Shop. This is from Charting Creations. Nope, Pain-Free Crafts. Pain-Free Crafts artwork is by Steve Crisp, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I believe that his artwork is going to be retiring from Pain-Free Crafts this month. And she had a sale, and he had other shops. So guess what I did? I got them all. I'll be starting them next year. But this is Sweet Shop. He does have a few pieces over on Heaven and Earth Design. So if you're watching this in the future and you miss the pieces on Pain-Free Crafts, he does have a few pieces licensed with Heaven and Earth Designs. So you can check them out over there too. So, This is being stitched on a 1/1, on a 32 count, easy count Lugano 1/1 full cross. This is my starting point right here. I kind of was doing this and then I jumped over and did this red because of a challenge in one of my games. But my goal for this is get to 1%. To get to 1%, I needed like a little over 2,400 stitches, and I have done 800 so far, so I need about 1,600 stitches to get this goal done, get it to 1%. It is currently at 0.46. Okay, number 5. Oh, one of my stockings that I'm doing for my kids. I believe this one, Falling Snow. And this is from Heaven and Earth Designs. Where is it? That's Reindeer, Falling Snow. I think artwork is by Alan Guiana, and it's 296 by 393, has 90 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I think my older one picked this one to be his. Like, he didn't pick the pattern. This one and the Enchanted Reindeer is the other one I'm working on, and he looked at both of them, and I think this is the one that he likes. He really likes Christmas trees. So I think he picked this one. Let me find it. Is it? Yeah. This is being done on a 25 count, easy count Lugano, 2/1 tent. And this piece, I had kind of started doing extreme cross country, and then I had to focus on an area for one of my games. So then I was working down here, and then I decided, you know, it's like, then I was like, whatever. I just started working wherever. So that's my starting point with it. It is currently at 22.59%, and my goal for it is to get it to, my goal is to get to 25%. So at the beginning of the year, I needed basically 4,400 stitches to get that. So far, I've done 2,500. Was that like 1,900 stitches maybe? I got a math. I don't know. I think it's about 1,900 stitches I need to get the goal done. So 22.59%. My goal is 25%. Okay. Okay, next up is, Mr. Grinch. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. It is a limited edition pattern, so it is not currently available. Betsy does a Black Friday sale after Thanksgiving every year, and not last year, but the year before, she had released this pattern, and it was in such high demand that she went ahead and released it a second time for the Black Friday sale last year. I don't know if she's going to do it again this year, though. But anyway, this is 175 by 210. It's got 30 colors. And it's like one of those stock photos, but this is Mr. Grinch. My goal is to finish it. And this is being done on maybe like an 18 count opalescent Aida. and this is my starting point. So like I said, my goal is to finish it. I have, is that it? Just 900 done? 900 stitches done out of 9,071, but I'm at 9.92% complete. So there's that. I need to get cracking on that. But you see what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, I only have 52 goals left, but like, I still need like 8,000 stitches to get that goal done. Okay, that was what, number 6? Number 7. Trying to mix this up so I don't keep, like I said before, pulling the same projects over and over. Trying to pull some ones I haven't worked on in a while or at all. Ooh, Honeymoon Sunset. Yes. Honeymoon Sunset. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. And it is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Alara got this piece for her birthday. Someone purchased the pattern for her, not me. Someone purchased the pattern for her birthday. So she's very excited because she had been eyeing mine for a while. And I'm going to be doing a challenge with Alara. I'm going to link her channel down below so you can check her out if you don't know who she is, which if you watch me, you should know who she is. But we are going to be doing a challenge together next year. She is, oh God, what was it, Alara? She's going to do like 25,000 stitches on Dragons of the Sabbat, like because her current one is to complete all the black on the outside of it because she's stitching the black from Pain Free Crafts. She's doing a challenge with Darren. I'm talking too fast. She is doing a challenge currently with Darren from Dizzy Stitcher. He's going to be completing Mini Top Frog from Heaven and Earth Designs, and she's doing all the black on the outside of Dragons of the Sabbat. And whoever loses that challenge, they have to buy the winner a chart of their choice from somewhere. I don't remember where. So me and her were talking about that, and we were talking about doing a challenge together next year, and because she wants to basically get all the black completed. So to kind of keep her motivated, I was like, well, I'll do a challenge with you next year. And so I decided to pick one of my full coverage pieces. Of course, I'm not going to finish it, but I said that, so hers is full cross and she's going to do 25,000 stitches. But since she is just doing one color, what we agreed to was, because this is Honeymoon Sunset's going to be my challenge piece next year. So what we had said was that I was going to do 25,000 stitches as well. However, my piece is done in tent stitch. So it sounds like it would not be as long for me, but some of this stuff is very confetti heavy. So it would take us just as long for her to do twice as many stitches, if that makes sense. Anyway, all that to say, my goal for Honeymoon Sunset this year is to get it to 30%. I needed to get 11,285 stitches done to get to the 30%. I have done 7,440. I need about 4,000 stitches. Hang on, I'm going to show you the whole thing in a minute. So far, I have done 164,352 stitches out of 563,981, and I am at 29.14%. I gotta doing math again. I don't know if that 4,000 is right. It might be. But anyway, this is 25 count, 2/1/10 stitch. And I'm going to show you the entire piece because I don't know where I'm going to be starting this go round. I have worked all four corners. Move out of the way. You're ruining my thing over here. Trying to brag. I'm going to bring this with me to stitching in the springs too. But I have all four corners done. It's hard to show the whole thing. And as you can see, I have skipped and hopped around all over the place. But yeah. I may come over here and work on getting these parked threads done. I might do that. I may do that. Like start up here and start working these parked threads in. Anyway, if I mathed correctly, I need about 4,000 more stitches to get this goal done. I feel like, oh no, last time I pulled it out, I needed 9,000. Last time I pulled it out, I think I needed 9,000. I keep having the 9,000 stuck in my head. I don't know. I'm going to math again just to be safe. But yeah, this is the project that I have the most progress on. When I started the year, I was at 28%. And my goal was to get it to 30%. So this is the project I have the most completed on out of all my full coverage projects. 5, 6, 7. All right, 3 more. Yeah, I'm really excited about that one because I really love that piece. Okay. Next up is can't get the paper open. Maybe it means it's a piece I haven't worked on in a long time. Oh, no. James Dean. The one I just showed you guys from Stitching Jules Design. That piece. My goal is to finish this one this year. Okay, so that was number 8. 2 more. Next up is Joy. Joy. Hard to see, but that's okay. And this is part of that trio of patterns that I was showing you from Stitch Rovia. This one right here. My goal is to finish this one as well. My goal was to finish all 3 of those. I finished this one earlier this year. These 2 I have left remaining. So Joy. And I'm doing this on a 14 count black Aida. That's my starting point. I'd say I'm probably almost halfway through, if not already halfway through. Maybe. Maybe. If it's not 50%, I'd say it's maybe 48, 49%. It's close to being halfway done. And this piece is 95 by 95, 95 by 93. It's not super big. However, that confetti in there is no joke because of the fireworks. Was that number 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, last one. And then I'm going to show you my year-long pieces. Let's see if we can make this one a good one. Let's get all these little pieces out of the edges here. Okay. And last but not least is... Oh, Believe. That little kit from Dimensions. Where is it? This one, right here. My goal is to finish that one. Okay, so my year-long projects. One of them is Coffee Break, which I showed you earlier. The next one I'm going to show you is a retired pattern from Pain Free Crafts. You cannot get this from them anymore. I have Kleenex for your tears. Kind of being sarcastic about that, but I understand why you would be upset because this is gorgeous. Day to Night Iceland by Lars Stewart. Look at that. Michelle from Heaven and Earth Designs, it has his artwork licensed. She currently has Day to Night North America out, but it's not called Day to Night North America. It's called something else. But if you go on her website and look up the charts by the artist, you'll see, I don't know the title of hers, but you'll see the Day to Night North America on her page. All of the artwork from Lars Stewart has been retired, is now retired from Paint Free Crafts. But this is the Day to Night North America. If you're interested in his stuff, you can check out Heaven and Earth Designs. So anyway, my goal for Day to Night Iceland is to find it on Pattern Keeper again. There we go. My goal for this is to get it to 12% by the end of the year. I am currently at 2.64%. I have a ways to go. Where is it? On my board. Day to Night Iceland. I still need 24,573 stitches. I'm doing this block by block. This is on a 32 count, easy count Lugano 1/1 full cross. I started the upper left-hand corner, and I was doing it block by block with parking, but I'm kind of like in my anti-parking phase, so I'm probably going to go ahead and try to just work these threads in. I might do that. I might just try to get these threads worked in so I can just keep moving. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of work still to do on this one. Because if I had done this the way that I was originally planning, when I set these goals for myself, I was not planning on the fact that I would be pulling all these other projects. When I set these goals, I was thinking that I would be working on mainly these projects for the better part of the year with a few things thrown in here and there. Because I had set these bigger, it was for a group that I'm no longer participating in, but I set these goals in my whip parade, so I'm sticking to them. And so these goals are a lot higher because I did not realize I was going to be pulling all these projects out the way I was and get hooked on what I'm doing, which is pulling the projects and having a bunch of stuff to work on. So that's why, so like by this point, I should be at, we're in September, I should be at 8% right now, going like working on my 9th% for Day to Night Iceland, and I'm at 2%. I am way far behind. Okay, so my next year-long piece I'm going to show you is a kit from Dimensions called A Whole Lot of Latte. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Somebody was asking me in one of the groups, they messaged me asking about the pattern, like when I'm done with it. And then we all started like doing some searches, and I actually found this kit on, still available for purchase on Cross Stitch World. It's also on eBay, but I feel like some of the stuff I saw on eBay was a little overpriced. But I know her problem wasn't that she couldn't get it on eBay or that was too expensive. It was that she's in the UK and they couldn't ship it to her. But we found it on Cross Stitch World. Yeah. All right, that's my starting point. My goal for the year was to do 18,000 stitches on it. I still need 14,400 stitches to get that goal done. I'm behind on this one too. I'm behind on all of them, but yeah. I love the colors of the thread up against the fabric because they're so bright and cheerful, and I like the piece overall. It's really cute. It's just, I don't know, it's not the stitching on the black fabric. I don't mind that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And there's back stitching on this piece. And you can't even tell, like, I don't think I'm going to do the back stitching out when I'm done. Like, if I do the back stitching, it'll probably be where the cup meets the saucer, just to give it a little bit of definition. But they're having you back stitch with black thread, and like half of the, like, I'd say about 3/4 of that back stitching is over like along the fabric. And so it's like black on black, you're not gonna be able to tell. But anyway, all right, the next year-long piece is my Temperature SAL. Alara is also doing this. And this is from Teeny Weeny X Stitch on Etsy. And it's the Magic Potion Temperature SAL. This is a mock-up of what it could look like. Everybody's is going to be different because it's the temperature of the area that you're in. And I have a very pathetic start on it. My goal was to have this thing done at the end of the year. Like on December 31st, all I had to do was stitch, like, you know, that day, ideally. But this is, I'm doing this on a Be Stitch Me fabric I got from a friend. Friend gifted me this fabric. It's from Be Stitch Me, and it's a 32 count opalescent linen called It's a Mystery. So that's what the fabric looks like, and that's where I'm at. That's January and February. And we are now in September. So as you can see, I've got a ways to go. This is Pattern Keeper compatible. So when you put it into Pattern Keeper, I'll go over this in more detail if I end up working on this this time, which I probably will. But all the potion bottles are labeled 1 through 4, and then you just fill in with whatever color, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 all have colors assigned depending on the temperature. So you just fill it in. But yeah, I am currently at 6.84% complete. I have a ways to go. Wah, wah, wah. Let me just pick a color so you can see how many. Look at that. I got a ways to go. So I need to write these temperatures down. I need to get the shelves, like, so much to do on that. The next one I'm going to show you is California Dreaming. I am not going to pull it out of the Q-Snap. Well, maybe I will. My goal is to get it to 25%. I think I'm going to change where I'm working. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the Q-Snap. To get it to 25%, I still need 29,786 stitches. I'm doing this on a 25 count, easy count Lugana, 2/1, 10 stitch. Oh, I probably, you know what would really help if I showed you what the piece actually looked like, right? California Dreaming is from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Jeff Haney. This is regular size, max color. It is 700 by 501. It has 240 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I started up here and I have worked all the way down here, and I've just been kind of going up and down with where I'm working. I am currently at, fold this so you can see it. So that's where I'm, oh, I've worked out a little bit. Hang on. Let me just do that right there. Let me show, and then I'll kind of bring it in closer. I have done 57,932 stitches out of 350,700. I am at 16.52%. So there we go. That's where I'm at with it so far. I don't know where I'm going to pick it up from. I don't know if I'm going to go back up to the top, if I'm going to keep working across the middle, if I'm going to go back down to the bottom corner and work along that edge. I don't really know. I don't know yet. I have not decided. So yeah, 29,786 stitches to go. All right. The next piece is No longer available. This is from Stitch Area, and this is called Best Friends Quotes, and these are quotes from the TV show Friends. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm not reading them all out loud. My goal for this was to do 12,000 stitches on it over the course of the year. This is my starting point. This was just a piece of Aida that I had. I stupidly only gave myself like a 1-inch margin up at the top and at the bottom. But it fits, so, and I'm stitching it in hand, so I'm not really worried about it fraying. But this is my starting point. I still need 4,900 stitches to get this goal completed. I don't believe I'm going to have a finish on it with that 4,900. But if it's not a finish, it's going to be really, really close. And I could probably very easily finish it at the beginning of next year. So, all right. I believe I just have one more year-long goal to show you. Yeah, one more. The last one is Catching Rays. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is my biggest piece I've ever done. I need to change it to a different bag. That bag doesn't quite fit my project with my Q-snap. This is my million stitch project. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So 1,200 by 900. It is a total stitch count of 1,080,000 stitches. It's huge. And I know there's projects bigger than that, but this is the biggest one I've ever done. I'm doing this on a 32 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. I'm not gonna pull this one out of the Q-snap. Let me tighten this up so it looks better. I'm not pulling it out of the Q-snap. I'm doing this if I finish this page before you see this again, then I will. So I'm doing this page by page in a checkerboard. So this is my starting point. And if this page gets done and I move on to another page, I will pull it out of the Q-snap to show you all the pages I've done. I've completed 1, 2, 3. This is page number 4. So I've completed 3 pages. I'm doing it in a checkerboard. Oh, you know what? I can show you on Pattern Keeper. Yeah, I have that marked. Okay. Let me zoom out. Get rid of that. I'm going to zoom out. So that's how I'm doing it. Page by page in a checkerboard. And I'm kind of going off the page a little bit here and there. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just because. Thought it would be fun. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite me in the ass later with lines. But I've been trying to watch my tension, and it's only one thread and it's full cross, so I'm hoping I don't have that issue. We'll see. You know what? Even if it does, I don't care. It's whatever. So my goal for this for the year was to get it 30,000 stitches on it. I still need 20,050 to go. So those are all those projects. My plans for, so I'm gonna work on those 17 projects that I pulled. Hopefully I can get a lot done, having less to choose from. Hopefully I can get more progress on them, because it's like, I feel like I want to pick a different project every day. And so having less to pick from, maybe that'll entice me to work on my year-long projects. If I like how I did it this time, I'll do it again next time. because I was realizing when I pulled all these projects out the last time, and I kept pulling the same thing over and over again, was that it's going to get to the point where I won't have a basket to pull from anymore, because I'm gonna have like everything but a small handful of stuff done. So I think I'm going to try this one this time. We'll see how I do. And if I like that, then I will go ahead and keep doing it that way. We'll see. I'm just putting this stuff away while I have it out, while I have this out. So my plans for next year, will be to work on, I've been trying to plot my stuff out for next year. And I will be working on Honeymoon Sunset for that challenge with Alara. I have a lot of starts planned, a lot of starts. I have a bunch of stuff kitted up. I need to go through and kind of organize myself a little bit better regarding making a spreadsheet of the projects that I can start. I kind of had it, and then I didn't like how I was doing it, so I stopped, and then I started adding projects that aren't on the list anymore, or that, like, I wasn't updating my list, so yeah. So I need to organize my new starts on a spreadsheet so I know what I have ready to go. And I'm going to keep my basket method that I'm doing here because everybody really loves it. I'm going to continue with the board, the big board here, because everyone really loves that too. But what I think I'm going to have more than one, because my current projects all fit on one board, and then I have all my new starts for next year, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of categorize my stuff into, I think I said 11 different categories, like full coverage, fancy ladies, seasonal pieces. I'm gonna have like a thing just for the gnomes. I may do more than 11. So my original thought was to do like 10 or 11 different categories. I'll have one for the stuff that doesn't really fall into anything. My original thought was to pull from every single basket and pull like maybe 2 or 3 projects out of each one. But then that's going to give me, if I have like 10 categories and I pull 3 from each one, that's going to give me like 30 projects to work on. And I think I'm going to go into decision paralysis again if I have that many to pick from. So I think what I may do, I wasn't done putting my stuff away. I still have 3 more projects to put up. So I think what I may do is do those categories, but do as many as I need. Like if I feel like this could go in a category like that, whatever, I'll do as many categories as I need, right? And I think what I may do is have another basket of the categories and pull a certain number. I'll figure out how many, I'm going to figure out how many projects I feel like would be a reasonable amount to pull, like to pick from. And then I'll divide that up evenly among however many categories I have. Or like say if I say like I'll pull 5 from each category, then whatever. I'll figure out how, what am I trying to say? Going to have the basket of categories, and I will pull like, just for example, I'll pull like 5 categories out of the basket. Those 5 categories, I will then have those baskets and I will pull from those. That way I'm not picking from the same baskets every single time, but I also won't overwhelm myself if I end up with like 15 categories and I'm pulling 3 from every category, because that's going to be too much. So what's this one? Oh, yeah, so I think I'll just have it divided up into however many categories I need it to be in, and then I will pick a certain amount of categories to pull from, and then from that I will pick the amount of projects out of that, because when I start thinking about it, it's like I could, because I have so many pieces, like I have a lot of Stitch Rovia pieces that I have not even started, because I have all 3 of her books plus her PDF patterns I have not started yet. I have samplers that I'm going to be starting next year. I'm starting to get on the sampler train. And I have some fancy ladies I haven't started. I have a lot of kits. Like, so there's a lot of things that I could categorize. Like I said, my gnomes are going to have their own category because I'm going to have so many. So I think I'll do that. And where my big board is going to come into play is I'll see how many fall in. I'll have them on the spreadsheet by their category. And I will see, regarding my new starts, I will have those just mixed in the basket. So if I pull like 5 pieces out of that basket to work on, if 3 of them are new starts, then I could potentially have 3 new starts. I mean, or I could like of full coverage pieces, for example, or I could pull 5 full coverage pieces that are no new starts. Who knows? You know what I mean? So I think that's what I'm just going to have my new starts mixed in the basket with my current whips, and I will start them as I pull them. I'm going to have a lot of new starts. So there may be weeks where I do nothing but new starts, and there may be weeks where I don't do any new starts. Who knows? But hopefully when I pull the new starts, regardless of what category they fall into, when I pull them as a new start, I would like to go ahead and get them started. And then they'll continue to go in the basket. So anyway, where the boards come into play is I'll have them all listed, and I will kind of like I'll probably either do a tally mark next to them, or I might just do a tally mark next to them, and we'll mark off every time I actually work on the piece. I'll put a tally mark next to it, because depending on how many I end up with, I don't want to keep working on the same thing repeatedly over and over and not pull stuff that's kind of like just sitting there forever. So I will see how many pieces I have in the end, and that will kind of determine, because like say if I have a category that has like 20 pieces in it, and I keep pulling the same like 6 or 7 over and over, I need to have a cap on how many times I work on it before I pull it out and set it aside so that I can start pulling other stuff. So that the amount of times I work on it overall before I set it aside will be based off of how many projects are in that category. Did anything I say make sense? I don't know if it did. But I'm excited for next year. I'm very excited for next year. And I can't wait for next year to start. But I still have a lot to do to prepare for it. I have a lot to do. It's like I need like a time traveling device where I can like set my cross stitch aside and not stitch and just focus on getting my crap ready for next year, and then turn back time so that I didn't waste all that time prepping, and I can go back and stitch during that time. So anyway, although I am off on Monday for Labor Day, maybe I'll do that. If I can get my ass out of bed early enough, maybe I'll try to get some of my stuff prepped for next year during that time. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. Almost 2 hours long. It's like a movie. I'm going to link what I can down below of the stuff that I have worked on these past 2 weeks. And I will probably go ahead and try to link down my year-long projects too. The ones I can. The kits, I'm not going to do that unless I see it like easily accessible on a website or something. But anyway, I'm not going to link the ones that I pulled because I have not worked on them yet. And regarding the Harry Potter pieces, like I said, those patterns are no longer available. However, he does have that Lord of the Rings Stitch Your Own Adventure that he just released yesterday. So you're not behind. I mean, I haven't even started it. I don't even have fabric for it. But I will link his Facebook page and his website down below so that you can check out the Lord of the Rings Stitch Your Own Adventure while I work on my Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure. All right, so that's it. Take care. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and get a lot of stitches. God, I feel like I'm saying what I normally say, but it's out of order. All right, take care, stay safe, get a lot of stitches in, and I will talk to you guys later. Happy stitching. Bye.